back to Paul Builds a Guitar. And this episode, I'm back to working with real critical design parts of this project. All the wood is, pretty much rough milled at this point. Everything is down to close to size, leaving room for, all the final touches. But I've got a couple of critical decisions to make today, which is final placement of the individual pieces of wood within the template layout. This is going to make a big difference, and it'll be one of the most visible parts of the guitar going forward. I have the back laid down here with the pieces of ash that are cut, and I've got that cherry strip in the center. And I'm working with the template today to make a final position on which pieces of wood are going exactly where and how the grain is going to line up on the back. So I've got my template. This is actually the back, what will be the back of the side of the guitar. And I've got the template on here. And what I've done is just slid around some of these pieces here to just optimize exactly how that grain is lining up. And when I get that done, I'm going to be able to mark it and get that into position. So when I look on it here, I've got the template pretty well lined up and where I want to go. The one part that I don't have on here, of course, is the wood for the top. That's also now been joined. So I have a nice matched set, and I need to do the same thing with that and then cut these to size so that the whole thing is the same width. Then we're going to be ready for glue up. Exciting. You may notice that I do have a knot that came through the milling process and is going to be here on the back. And I'm actually okay with that. I saw that early in the milling process. And I said, well, that's a great opportunity to use the defects in the wood to bring out character and something special in the instrument itself. And so what I intend to do is actually do an inlay. I haven't decided the shape or necessarily the material yet, but ultimately after the things are glued up and pretty well close to done, I am going to route an inlay into there and put something in it that's unique. And so I'm a big believer in using the flaws to create beauty, and this is a good opportunity to do that. So the next thing to do is really going to be to do that same positioning here and cut these top pieces together, and we're going to be almost ready for glue up. The selection of the top placement obviously is going to be the most visible and noticeable part anywhere on the guitar, and that's why we got this really beautiful quilted maple to work with. It's a little bit wider than I need it now, so what I'm also doing is making decisions about the grain side to side and how to bring that together. I do have this part of a dark stain inclusion in the wood on the side that is next to the cutaway on the bottom of the front side of the guitar. But remember, most of that on a Telecaster is covered up by the pickguard. So it's a little bit of character. I don't mind it. It doesn't detract from the grain, and a lot of that's going to be covered up by the pickguard in any event. So I think final decisions have been made. This part right here is the best grain on the piece, and that's going to be the most visible on the top back side of the guitar here across to the front. And so that's the side that I want to favor here. So on this board, I've got about 1.5 inches to trim off, and that's going to come out of the inside of this board. And on this side, I'm going to leave it pretty much right where it is. So one of the last challenges to solve now is, you can see we've got the maple top kind of butted up against the ash back here. But if I look at this with the caliper, I'm just a hair over 2 inches. I'm 5/100ths of an inch over 2 inches. And the guitar at the end of the day needs to be 1 3/4 inches. So I've got about 1/4 inch of material to remove from here to bring it up to final size, although I want to go less than that to leave room for sanding both there and on the top. The top right now should just be a hair over 1/2 inch, and it is. It is 0.561 on the top, so that's perfect enough to take down a little bit with the final sanding when that happens. But some stock to remove on the back side here, and then we're really going to be pretty close. How about that? Looks like we almost have a block ready to glue up. Here's the template on it. You know, we're pretty darn close. Got that all laid up. Everything is to rough thickness, ready for sanding. We've got the ash all up there. I don't know whether you can see it on this camera, but I'll do a close-up. But we've got this great end grain concentric ring kind of thing going on there. Gotta love that. We got everything well positioned. The best part of the wood that we have is available and looks great. You know, it's gonna be sand, and then we get out some glue. Exciting. Thanks for joining.